What's up, Jets fans? Welcome to the latest edition of Jets Latest, where you get the latest on the Jets, Jets. I'm your host, the spitting statistician, Dane Martinez, and it continues to be a very interesting time in the football calendar, right? That first wave of free agency has kind of subsided, and we are now getting ready for the NFL draft, which will take place in less than 3 weeks. We've been talking about the Jets draft for a ton here on Jets Latest. You know, I believe they are going to target an offensive lineman, whether that is Membu out of Missouri, whether that's Will Campbell out of LSU, and we have been seeing if the draft board is going to kind of fall in that direction. But here's the other thing. It is continuously also rumor season, smokescreen season, as teams play their cards close to the vest, and you are also going to start to get a ton of kind of like random wild rumors about trades and things of that nature that might happen. Let me tell you something right off the top, okay? I have said on this show, Jets Latest, you have seen elsewhere, the New York Jets with GM Darren Mosey, new head coach Aaron Glenn, they are building in a way that is kind of unfamiliar for Jets fans, right? They're bringing in a ton of youth. They're building competition. They're not trying to win the offseason with splashy big names, and they're going to build from the ground up. Like I said last week, Aaron Glenn saw that model work in Detroit under Dan Campbell, and I believe he is trying to do the same thing. The only problem is, when you do it that way, you don't have big name signings. You don't have fodder for social media. You don't have fodder for the back page of the sports news in New York City, right? And so there's still going to be people that are trying to generate stories like that. And quite frankly, I saw one last week and over the weekend involving the Jets and the Atlanta Falcons. The question is, are the Jets and the Falcons actually talking trade? I don't think so, but here's what it says, okay? First of all, the Atlanta Falcons, who are at, I believe it's like number 13 in the draft, may be looking to trade up. Why? Because they like the Georgia edge rusher, Jalen Walker. And they think they may need to get into the top 10, potentially all the way up to number 7, to go ahead and get Walker, to ensure that he is still on the board for Atlanta. These sound like Atlanta problems to me, not Jet problems, right? The other part about this that kind of connects them to the Jets is that Atlanta is rumored to be dangling tight end Kyle Pitts in any deal, right? Kyle Pitts was a top 5 overall draft pick a couple of years ago. He flashed as a rookie with 68 catches and over 1,000 yards, but a lot of people believe that in the last 3 years, he's been something of a bust. Last year, only 47 catches, only 600 yards. He did have 4 touchdowns, which was a career high, but remember, the Falcons now have Bijan Robinson. They now have Drake London, and Pitts is thought to be expendable. Now, when you look at teams in the top 10 and you see the Jets potentially there, and we all know the Jets have an area of need potentially at tight end, people are trying to start to connect the dots. And I have seen on social media wild reports that the Jets would swap first round picks, maybe get Kyle Pitts in exchange and fall down, and then maybe get something down the road, a 2026 kind of third round pick or something like that. While that may be possible, and anything is possible here in advance of the draft, you are going to see trades. I just don't think this is going to be one of them. Yes, Kyle Pitts fits in some ways, right? He's 24 years old, like I say, with the youth movement here for the New York Jets. He was a former top draft pick. That does seem to be what the Jets have been targeting in their free agent wave of signings. But I don't think it fits for a few reasons. One, I think the Jets know their priority is to get the right tackle with their first round draft pick, Membu, Campbell. That's what we are looking. And if they fall back to, I believe it's like 13, 14, something like that, Atlanta's pick, they're not going to have Membu and Campbell on the board. The other thing, and I just said it in the latest edition of Jets Latest, is that Darren Mosey likes the tight end room. He likes Ruckert there from Ohio State entering his 3rd year. He likes the potential of Stone Smart. Like, adding Kyle Pitts, while it would be a nice weapon for Justin Fields, I think this is one more of those splashy back page kinds of things. And quite frankly, Pitts is then coming into the end of his deal and would require more money moving forward. So bottom line is, I don't think this is going to happen. This is one of the reports that are out there that you can not get fooled by here in rumor season leading up to the draft. I've also, for example, seen the Jets connected to Amari Cooper at the wide receiver position. He is one of the wide receivers that are still available in free agency. I don't think that's going to happen either. I mean, Amari Cooper's turning 31 years old. That doesn't fit the model. We got our 30-year-old wide receiver, and it was Josh Reynolds. And quite frankly, Josh Reynolds has had more success over the last year than Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper only had 45 catches last year, only 500 some odd yards, okay, with Buffalo and Cleveland combined. And he would cost a lot of money just because of the name brand that is Amari Cooper. So when you hear names like this, Kyle Pitts, Amari Cooper, remember what is really true about the way the Jets are building. They are doing it with youth, they are doing it with competition, and they are doing it over the long haul. That number 7 pick is going to be too important, in my opinion, especially for an offensive lineman to go ahead and trade down for someone like Kyle Pitts, because they are going to miss the opportunity to get the offensive tackle. And quite frankly, Kyle Pitts would have to be dropped in, just like I think Tyler Warren at 7 would have to be dropped in and anointed kind of the starter. And I don't think they're going to do that. Remember, in Jets Latest, I talk about guys like Ferguson out of Oregon. I talk about guys like Mason Taylor out of LSU, who I think are better targets for the Jets a little bit lower on in the draft in the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th round. One of the other names you continue to hear, potentially even linked to the Jets, is Shedeur Sanders at the top of the draft. I don't think this one is real either, okay? First of all, the Jets are not going quarterback. They have their quarterback in Justin Fields. Heck, they have their developmental quarterback in Jordan Travis. And Aaron Glenn was out there talking about how he is going to compete if he is healthy and cleared. But Shedeur Sanders did have his pro day with Colorado recently. And another Jet, one of the newest Jets that is in the model here of a young top draft pick who they signed to develop culture, develop competition, is our newest safety, Andre Cisco. And there's been some drama around this. Look at what Cisco had to say about Shedeur Sanders' pro day. I mean, he impressed a little bit in his pro day, but Andre Cisco went out there on social media and put video of Sanders' throws and said, boy, better stop patting that ball. We breaking on that early, okay? And I think this is interesting, right? One, because what happens if the Jets do wind up with Shedeur Sanders and these guys are teammates? I don't think that's going to happen, but what happens if that does go down, right? And he's talking about him patting the ball right before his release, that he's going to break on it early. And defensive backs, they look for any kind of tell that is out there, right? And so, you know, the fact that he kind of exposed maybe a flaw in Shedeur Sanders' technique, I thought was really interesting and getting a couple of buzz on social media, right? And listen, Cisco, I think Cisco is going to be a good addition for the Jets, right? He's had 24 pass breakups, 8 interceptions over the last 4 years with the Jacksonville Jaguars. He forced 3 fumbles. And over the last 3 seasons, Cisco only had 4 defensive penalties called on him in the last 3 years. So another reason why, you know, like a disciplined player is someone that we are bringing in. But I did think it was interesting that he was out there getting a little buzz between some of the things that he was talking about as it related to Shedeur Sanders. And maybe Cisco goes and tells the brain trust, listen, this kid's got stuff to work on. And even more reason, they don't get Shedeur Sanders at number 7 overall. But listen, this is an exciting time, not only for Jets Latest. Thank you, by the way, to the 1,000 subscribers that we now have on Jets Latest. Thanks for all the comments out there, a lot of them positive, talking about what you were getting here on Jets Latest. But it's not only an exciting time for Jets Latest, it's an exciting time for the New York Jets and the green and white and the new era under Aaron Glenn. And guess what, everybody? It starts today. Today is the first day of voluntary kind of practices and opened up. All teams open with programs of 2 weeks of meetings, conditioning work before they can actually have practices. Day 1 of that is today, Monday, April 7th. Okay, and you see the other dates, right? Voluntary minicamp, then you're going to get OTAs and minicamp after the draft. You'll get a rookie minicamp right after the draft. But the Jets are interesting because if you have a new head coach, which the Jets do, all right, you're allowed to have a voluntary mini camp, which they are having starting April 21st, because you have a first-time coach, really to get everyone acclimated. So I keep on talking about this culture, and the Jets are going to be one of the teams that really get this early shot at establishing culture. They're going to be able to do that even before the NFL draft. Aaron Glenn is going to have these guys together. So when I talk about everybody coming together, all this youth, all this talent, and this idea of culture, it starts literally today with their first meetings out there in Florham Park. Other teams that can do this are the teams with new coaches, right? New England with Vrabel, the Jags with Liam Cohen, the Saints with Kellen Moore, the Bears with Ben Johnson, the Raiders with Pete Carroll, and the Cowboys as well. They will have that opportunity to go ahead and have these voluntary mini camps, which is additional team gatherings that not everybody gets. But what I think is exciting is that literally today is day one of the new green and white era under new head coach Aaron Glenn. So it's an exciting time. Keep it locked right here at Jets Latest. We will be going through all the rumors. There's going to be a lot of rumors that, quite frankly, need to be debunked. If you keep on hearing about Shador Sanders or Ashton Genty or Amari Cooper or Kyle Pitts or whoever it is, make sure you like this video. Make sure you are subscribed to Jets Latest, because I'm going to give it to you real. Other people are looking for sensationalized stuff. I'm telling you what I have seen from this new culture, the way they are building it. It may not sound sexy. It may not be on the back page of the Daily News. But if you're a longtime Jets fan, you understand this is actually exciting. And if you have the patience, let's continue to build in this way. And we are going to get, in my opinion, 2, 3, 4 new starters at the end of this month in the first 4 picks of the NFL draft. We have 3 in the top 75 and we have 4 in the top 110. Those are going to be very exciting new pieces for this Jets team. Remember also, if you want to hear more from me, the spitting statistician Dane Martinez, I am the host of the FTN Fantasy Show over on Sirius XM, channel 87, the fantasy channel. We talk Jets, we talk NFL, we talk fantasy football, Major League Baseball, March Madness with the national championship game tonight, the NBA playoffs, and so much more, giving you everything you need to win your leagues and win that cash. But remember, like the video, subscribe, and tell a Jet fan friend to tell a Jet fan friend, because here at Jets Latest, you get the latest on the green and white. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Peace.